Hello, this is Manuela, your guiding light, and this YouTube video is what are the Akashic Records? So explaining the Akashic Records. Akashic Records, the way I could describe this, it's like a library. It's a place where all your soul plans are stored. Before you come down to earth, you created a soul plan, like a map of how you're gonna travel on earth, how the soul's gonna travel on earth. You created that soul plan together with your spiritual team, which we're going to explain a little bit more in a minute. And that all, it's stored in your soul, in Akashic Records. So Akashic Records contain all your soul plans from the first time you incarnated on earth until right now, and also some future as well. Mainly this lifetime. Your next lifetime, it's not planned yet. Based on what you learn in this lifetime, your next lifetime will be planned after you cross over from this lifetime. From this earth, when you cross over, then your next lifetime it's planned. So in Akashic Records, your soul plans all from past and this lifetime till now, and all your lifetime, this lifetime, it's already planned. And we're gonna just explain that a little bit in a minute. First, I would like you to give you a little bit of a picture to understand how the Akashic Records look like. So I reveal the soul plan. My work is, my purpose is to help the souls to enter into fifth dimension, to enter in your earth. So I reveal soul plans to my clients, anybody that's struggling with anything. So this is like a reading, but not exactly just predicting the future. This is just on your soul plan, because the Akashic Records on your soul plan, the future is never 100% predicted. The truth is, you always have 5 different options in your life, 5, 6 different options, even more sometimes. If you if you're serving the purpose, if you are working on your mission, you have more than 5 or 6 opportunities. So when we predict the future, when we're only doing a psychic reading, we are only giving you one opportunity. That means we on some level controlling, we're hiding the rest. But there's so much more. When you open your soul plan, you can see there's many different opportunities. And also you can understand each opportunity, what it's teaching you, which one is the easiest for you to learn. So, when I open Akashic Records with different clients, it's very different. So I would call the spiritual team. I needed a name and date of birth. Even that, it's not very important, because I do feel that soon as the client come in, or soon as I start talking to the client, their spiritual team, it's already ready. So I do ask for name and date of birth. It's something that I can't really find a real reason why. I never ask my angels why, but that is what I ask for. That's what I begin. Could be this is for me, for our mind to connect, to understand and to prepare ourselves. But this is what I started the reading with. And it calls revealing your soul plan. So helping the soul to understand mainly the challenges that they're going through, and the soulmate relationship, which are the most challenging, understanding which soulmate, why you attracted them, why the connection is so strong, and understanding where they're traveling, understanding the illness or the depression that they attracted, why they attracted, what they're learning. So soul plan will open for my clients all the soul lessons, what they're learning at the moment, also earthly lessons, because we have earthly lessons as well. It will help them understand what they're learning in every different area of their life. It helps them understand the karmic agreements. Is there a karma that needs to be balanced? That's where the relationship can be more understanding challenging relationships. So that's what I do. With my spiritual team, I call my client's spiritual team, which is the mind guardian angel. We have the highest mind guardian angels, and we call this mind guardian angel not mind, but the mind, the most important one. the number one, basically. Guardian angel is the one that when God created a soul, he placed a guardian angel specifically for that soul, which means that guardian angels works only for you. You cannot send this guardian angel to anybody. It never goes to anybody else. It's specifically for you 24/7. It's with you. And it sits sort of in the back of your, that's where your crown chakra is. Sometimes if you start opening your psychic abilities and if you look sort of quick around the shoulder, you might see a little bit of light there. So this is your mind guardian angel, the most important angel that knows you the best, that its job is to protect you, to always make sure you are following the soul path. So the soul plan, it's all about your soul. It has nothing to do with ego. And this is what we call our true path. When you're following your soul plan and doing exactly what you plan to do here and how you plan and learning the lessons and moving forward in your life, you are standing on your true path. That is the true path. When you're not following your soul plan, you are stepping on an ego path. And you will attract always souls or other people that's going to pull you on ego path. The ego will always try to test you. This is the test that we have in life. Ego is testing you, trying to test, are you going to let go of your true path and step on ego path? So when you really much more using your mind and you're not paying attention to your using more your logical mind and you're not connecting to your spiritual mind, then you are traveling mainly on your ego path. So going back to the soul path, your soul path is planned and you just need to follow it. You just need to connect to it and follow it. So when I opened all my clients' Akashic Records, so I need to ask for permission. The guardian angel is the number one that always comes first, gives the permission. Because the guardian angel is, my job is to protect you. That means your guardian angel will protect you even of what information you will get. In Akashic Records and in the soul plan, you're not going to get exactly what you want. You will only get what your guardian angel feel you need, that it's safe for you. Okay? So your guardian angel is the mind one that ask Akashic Records keepers, and there are a lot of keepers. We call them keepers, Akashic Records keepers. These are the angels, the higher beings that actually protecting, making sure that nobody enters in, that it's not meant to, or making sure that ego doesn't get in. That is the mind job, making sure that ego doesn't get in. Your guardian angel will contact immediately Akashic Records keepers and say, okay, let's open this. Your guardian angel will bring the other spiritual team, which is your guides. Now, guardian angel and guides are different. Guardian angel, it's an angel that never was on earth, never experienced being in body and living life on earth. It's pure light. Now, your spirit guides, which is different. You will have different spirit guides. You will have spirit guides that it's not your family member, that you have no memory of any lifetime with them, that you didn't really spend any lifetime with them. You don't know it. This is the spirit guides. Again, you have mine, number one spirit guide, the one that knows the best, the one that has all soul plans that have access to. You have different soul plans, different opportunities, and different spirit guides can access them. Not every spirit guide can access every soul plan. So just like you have mind guardian angel, you have a mind number one spirit guides, which means that's the wisest one, knows the best. He is the one that can change your plan. That's the one that can change your plan if he really wants to, without even asking you. He has permission to do with your soul plan whatever it feels it wants to do, and whatever feels that needs to be done, even changing it in the last minute when it really wants to, when it feels that you need it. So this is the mind guardian angel, not your family member. You don't have memory of spending any lifetime with them. But it's a soul that has been on earth. It may be in your soul group in very, very early lifetimes, or maybe in a different soul group. But this is somebody that lived on earth, a soul that did incarnate on earth, learn all the lessons, evolve to the point where there's no need to come to earth anymore. And then it stays up in heaven and guides others. Choose who feels the most connected, who had similar challenges in life like he or she did. And they're going to say, okay, well, you know what? I learned this and I know how I learned this. So I'm going to guide this soul to help them to learn that lesson quicker. So this is your mind guardian angel. He has access to all your soul plans. He or she will always come in a reading. That's the one that I most of the time see. I always see the mind guardian. And then we have other spirit guides. There's this type of spirit guides, like number one that I just mentioned. You could have 2 or 3. If you're a very old soul, if you're working on completing a mission, you will have 2 or 3 design one, but maybe a little bit less wiser than him or she or her. So you will have maybe 2 or 3 of those spirit guides. You will have spirit guides of your family or friends that passed away. They don't even have to be your family or friends. It could be somebody that you just met sort of a day or two. Somebody that feels that can actually teach you something. Or somebody that you've done something well for them and owes you a karma. So your spirit guides as your family or friends that passed away, these are the ones, again, that are very different. Again, the wise ones that don't have many karmic debts, that can actually go straight on a 7 level. Your Akashic records are stored on 7 level. So there's 7 levels. And the more you evolve on earth, the higher level you go when you cross over. So anybody that really evolved so much on earth and didn't create more karmic debts, instead actually started to clean up the karmic debts and balance their karma, they go on a higher level. They not go on 7, because on 7 are only angels and your spirit guides, but they would go on 6 or 5 or 4. So these are the souls that are already involved enough that can just have access in Akashic Records. They have access in your Akashic Records. They can have access to your opportunity and your soul plan to some degree. Again, not full. Not every soul plan, not every opportunity, to some degree. But they can see the opportunity and see what you need to learn from it. Are you capable of actually completing that? Are you capable of accepting that opportunity and completing it? Because sometimes opportunities are presented to you, but you might not be able to actually accomplish. You might not have what it takes. You might not have confidence. You might not have knowledge. You might need to heal first your emotional pain in order to do that. So the spirit guides that are on a higher level, your family and friends, they can actually see that. They will say, okay, well, you have this opportunity, but you need to be careful because it might not be you might not be ready for it now. Or this is only just to pay the karmic debts. It's not going to last for long. They can see that. So these are the more wiser, your family or friends that passed away, that learn more and are on a higher level. So sometimes when I open Akashic Records from my clients, I can see them. They could come in. Then we have your family and friends and people that passed away that you know from this lifetime that are on a lower level, which is 1, 2, and 3, which means these are the souls that didn't really evolve, maybe not involving 2, 3 lifetimes, staying in the same sort of level. They're not evolving, they're creating more karmic debts. So they are on a lower level. The reason for that is because they have still so much to learn. They can't go further to the light. The reason why they stay on lower level as well, because they have to pay you some karmic debts. They owe you some karmic debts. So what they can see, they can only see the opportunity. Because what they do, because when the soul that didn't evolve, the soul that evolved, say for example, the soul that really evolved and doesn't have bad karmic debts, that can go to the higher level, When it leaves the body, goes through the light, comes through the guides before the Akashic Records. Everybody has to come to the guides before the Akashic Records. And that's where the guardian angel and mind guide meets them. And it shows them, okay, it's like checking to give them pass to get to the guides. If they created more karmic debt, they can't go to the guides. They have to go on the lower levels to pay the karmic debts back. Or serving the time, just being in that uncomfortable place to serve the time and then incarnate again. They can just really stay and do nothing because they can pay the karmic debts in the next lifetime. Majority of karmic debts are balanced in the next lifetime. But they can stay on a lower level. If they manage to pay the karmic debts back to whoever they did wrong and make their life easier, then they quicker incarnate. So if you have spirits that are on a lower level, they will try to do your life, to make your life better always. But the trick here is they don't see your soul plan fully. They only see the opportunity, and they will say, okay, look, wow, well, look, there's opportunity, because they need something to incarnate quicker, to get out of that uncomfortable place. Because in that uncomfortable place, they feel they have the negative emotions that they didn't completely release and healed. They are there still. They're not really in a comfortable place. So they want to get out of there as soon as possible. So what they're going to do, they're going to say, okay, well, you know what? Okay, I done wrong to this person, so now I'm going to do good. I'm going to look in the Akashic Records and see if there's any opportunities. Now, they only see the opportunities. They don't know if you are capable of accepting that opportunity and completing that opportunity. They don't know how you need to do that. Do you need something to learn, or do you need to change something to complete that opportunity? They only see the opportunity. So what they do, they grab that opportunity and send it to you. These are the signs that they give you. You know what? You can go there, or you can go in that relationship, or you can go there. Let's push you there. But you have to figure out yourself how you're going to actually accomplish that opportunity. If you follow the guidance of lower souls, you need to tap into your Akashic Records to see where is that opportunity taking you. Do you have what it takes to actually accomplish that opportunity? So that is the difference. Your spiritual team, mind team that actually can help you is in Akashic Records. Anybody, any spirit guides from a family and friends that are on lower level, they don't get into Akashic Records. This is where the Akashic Records keepers don't allow them to get in. But they can access it, just little information. They do get that. So this is the difference. And when I do read Akashic Records, I can see the spirits of the family members of my client are together with the spiritual team. The spirit from lower level might pop in a different place. I can see where it's coming from. But going back to Akashic Records, now that you understand, as soon as I open the Akashic Records, with different client, they're going to show me differently. Sometimes they will show me, it's definitely like a library. It's very big. The walls are made as just a white light. It's like everything is just completely white. Everything is just white. And it's very hard to describe. It's like a white walls, but they're not walls. When you touch them, they're actually not hard. So it's like everything is made out of white light. But it does have a shape. So it's like a library. Sometimes you can see the books. The books are like very thick, sort of that thick or even that thick, sort of. And they look a little bit old-fashioned books. Sometimes I would see guides pulling out the book. And the book sometimes will have wording or letters that I can't understand. I don't read that because I don't understand those letters. I am only translating what the guides are giving me, or the angels. Whoever is reading, they are reading it to me, but I'm not actually understanding the letters. So they are very different. I can't understand them. But the spiritual team, it's reading it to me. So I'm just really translating it telepathically. I'm talking to a spirit guide telepathically. The spirit guide reads it, understands it, and I'm just translating it. The pictures in that book are live. They're actually moving. And even when I look at the path, it's moving. Everything is sort of like when they open the book, the books are actually alive. Like it's like a TV when you're watching. It's pictures are moving. And the letters are only standing still, but the pictures are moving, the path are moving. Everything in the books is sort of really moving somehow. It's like alive. It's really hard to describe. Sometimes it's just a scroll, and I feel that scrolls are just a very small opportunities. When there's just one opportunity for somebody, it's going to come like a scroll. They now open the scroll. Sometimes I see them opening the scroll. Sometimes it's like a TV on a table, sort of that it's inside a table, and I can see again the pictures moving. This whole scenario unfolds it for me. It's like when I'm watching TV, and your spiritual team, it's usually around this big white table. It's an oval table. There's no square. In Akashic Records, there's nothing is done in a square. Everything is sort of roundly shaped. Even the books, they don't have sort of really square. They are sort of all a little bit edges are sort of like a cut. Nothing has this really sharp edges. So the table, it's sort of like an oval, and all your spiritual team is around that table. And everybody that I see around the table, I know they are from your spiritual team. They are in Akashic Records. The spirits from the lower level will come sort of, it's almost like on the side. They're not there really behind the table. But all your spiritual team is around the table, and I stand with them as well. So I will look at the Akashic Records. So it's exactly like it's a really big place. It's not a stadium. It's almost, well, the size that I could describe it would be as a stadium. When I look at the size, and usually there's white steps going up, and then it's going down. So it's going first up, it's like going on this stadium, big stadium, and then it's actually going down. We enter into Akashic Records around this white table, and all the spiritual team comes in. And with different clients, they open different books, they open differently. Some clients I would only watch the table, the TV that it's in a table, which is, I feel like it's almost future, like what we're gonna have in the future. I do feel that sometimes it's like a hologram, just like a hologram, just like TV. And I do feel that this is, to me, always that felt like we're gonna have that in the future. And I'm also feeling that we will have all access to our Akashic Records. We all meant to. We all meant to have access to our Akashic Records, because that is the only way to learn quicker and to bring the fifth dimension quicker to Earth. So everybody's job is to learn how to read their own Akashic Records, to enter into their own soul plan, to understand their soul essence, to understand what they're learning and what sort of opportunity is the best for them. So I feel that's all coming ahead for us, for everybody to know. What you need to know is that in order for you to read your Akashic Records, or anybody Akashic Records, it's not something that somebody can just teach you. You need to evolve and connect to it. It's not like you learn to read tarot cards and somebody can teach you. No, you only have to evolve and connect to it. And that's what somebody can teach you. You will need somebody to teach you how to evolve enough to be able to connect to your Akashic Records and to have that access. But they can't actually teach you how to read them. That sort of comes to you by itself. Soon as you evolve enough and you connect to it, which again will come through your guardian angel. You have to connect first to your guardian angel. You have to be connected to your guardian angels, to your mind guardian angel and your mind spirit guides for a very long time, for a few years before you can access the Akashic Records. And then you connect to Akashic Records. They will take you there, basically. They will take you there when they feel that you're ready. So somebody can teach you how to evolve and to connect to your guardian angels, to your spiritual team, to understand their guidance, and then you will connect to it. They can help you understand how to connect through meditation. So that's something somebody can teach you, but the rest, it's sort of taking itself. Your guardian angels say, I feel it's your spiritual team that takes over from there. So, and this is something that everybody will do in the future. So these are the Akashic Records. It's a very, very big place. All your soul plans are stored there. Your karmic agreements are there as well. And two major challenges, the major challenges that can come when it comes to soul plan, why we have many different plans, many different opportunities, because not many souls are following the plan. Sometimes they do completely opposite of what they plan to do. And the biggest challenge that it comes when the soul, two major challenges is when the soul is so hurt and cannot go on anymore and wants to take their own life. So this is the biggest challenges, when soul wants to take their own life, and when some soul group or some souls are stuck in a karmic cycle. These are the most challenging situations where your spiritual team is monitoring you constantly, so closely, and constantly changing the plans, constantly changing opportunity. Let's try this one, and none of it works. And they have the backup plans as well. And sometimes even the backup plan doesn't work. So we'll start with taking their own life. So when the soul comes to the stage that wants to take their own life, none of it is planned. Your spiritual team will never plan for you to take your own life. They can see that there could be possibility, so they have a backup plan for it and a backup plan for it. But they don't actually plan for you to commit suicide, to take your own life. That is a big no. That is like you wagging from school. So the backup plan here would be that either somebody will take over as a walk-in. So this is a walk-in is the backup plan when you want to commit suicide. Because what happens, your spiritual team will try to prevent that. They'll do anything to prevent that. And when it happens, when a soul cannot get when the spiritual team cannot get through the soul is so in the darkness, so possessed by their ego basically, that they cannot receive anything from the spiritual team. Your guardian angels cannot get through you at all. And that's when they take their own life. Now that is something that your spiritual team will not allow. It's not happening with their permission. So that's why they always have a backup plan. The backup plan here is always a walk-in. So what is happening? Your spiritual team will say, okay, well, this soul is really struggling. It's really squashed. The reason why they want to commit suicide, because the soul is not following the path. It's not doing what it's meant to do. It's really squashed. It's experiencing too much pain and cannot heal. And universe will try to send soul to help to this soul. But if nothing works, they will organize a walk-in. A walk-in are the souls, like for example, your family and friends that are on a lower level, that needs to pay the karma back or that needs to learn something. So what they're going to say, your spiritual team going to say, okay, we need a backup plan. And this is again, your mind guardian angel only has the backup plan. No lower energies or less wiser spiritual guides have that plan. They don't know what it is. Only your mind, the highest, the wisest spiritual guide will have that plan. He will say, you know what, we'll getting the big gun out, basically, like we say when we want to manipulate children, when we need some big plan for the children to discipline them. They will say, okay, well, let's get a walk-in, which means they will contact some of your family members that are on a lower level, the ones that owe you a karma or that want to learn something or have something that they need to complete. They left some unfinished business. And they will say, okay, well, you can take this body from this soul, because the soul is really tired, which means we're giving the soul opportunity to come in heaven and rest. And you take over and complete or pay back some karma, balance your karma a little bit to make it easier for you. Now, this can happen for some time. And it's not like the spirit, it's incarnating. They're not incarnating. They're only staying for some time. So they're not incarnating. They're taking the body for a year, 6 months, a year, 2-3 years maximum. Maximum 2-3 years. It really depends health situation around them. It's almost like they clean up a little bit the situation around them. They help the body to be stronger, to be able to handle whatever it's come. And then when the body is back to normal, when the mind is back to normal, when the mind is a little bit released from the ego thoughts and maybe a little bit more healed, released a little bit more negative emotions, made more room for the soul basically. The soul comes back and the walk-in step out and go back on its place where it was. It might go a little bit higher. So what happens? The walk-in that takes the body does as much as work as possible, needs to clear a lot of karma, learn a lot, and they can actually learn here the best because they don't get lost. Walk-ins don't get lost because they know they are just here to do whatever they need to do. They're not incarnating. So they're going to use that opportunity to do the best they can. They're going to learn, they're going to do whatever they have to do and make a body feel much stronger and healthier and better so it can continue. And then when the time is finished, they say, okay, again, of the soul, spiritual team of the soul and the spiritual team of the other soul that of walk-in agrees and say, okay, well now it's time to do the swap again. Which means the soul comes back in its body and the walk-in walks out, back on its place or higher place. If they were on a second level, they might be on a third level. If they've done a lot, they balance a lot of karma, they learn quite a bit, that means they might jump from second level to third level. And which means it's win-win for both. It's good for the soul had some rest, and the walk-in done a little bit of work, which is really great. So this is always backup plan for souls that want to commit suicide. And the backup plan for the souls that are stuck in a karmic cycle, it's usually different souls that owe you good karma. So this is all about karmic debts. You can't have backup plan with a soul that already done wrong to you in a past life. So what it means that your spiritual team will find somebody that you don't have bad karmic debts. They will look back in your past lives. And again, your mind guide, number one guide, will look, okay, there's some soul that you didn't do any bad karmic debts, that it's really good karmic debts here that can actually come in and maybe pull you out of this situation. Usually you are stuck in a karmic cycle because of some very challenging situation. Either it's a relationship, whatever situation is, you are stuck in a karmic cycle because the situation is challenging. And your guides already working on trying all different plans and none of them are working. They're constantly changing the plans. They're throwing new souls in. Anybody that owes you good karma from past, nobody can actually do it. So there's always backup plan from somebody that... Now, what happens? Your mind guide only is in charge here. And again, it's monitored. If it happens that the soul creates bad karmic debt with you, or it doesn't do exactly what it's planned to do, your mind guide will automatically pull it out. Say it's cancelled. Bring another one. Okay? So these are the backup soul plan. The backup soul plan are only souls that you don't have bad karmic debts. So when a soul is going through where wants to move into fifth dimension, which a lot of this is happening a lot at this stage where we are on earth, a lot of souls are stuck in the karmic cycles. And that's happening a lot. So which means a lot of souls are entering in a fifth dimension and they want to clear their karmic debts. And they're creating a really challenging situation to clear the karma. But sometimes they hurt too much because the bad karmic debts and cleaning up the karma can bring up all negative emotions. And forgiveness is the only key. And sometimes forgiveness cannot happen when the souls are creating more and more bad karmic debt. Somebody is hurting you more and more, and you're stuck in a karmic circle with that soul. Well, sometimes it's really hard to forgive. So what it happens, the backup plan is usually meant to pull you out of the situation, to break the cycle, basically. They are here to break the cycle. So they need somebody that it's, if you are, for example, in a family or in a soul group, they're gonna be somebody that it's not from a soul group, that are very different from soul group, that are different from your family, that are very different, basically. And which means it's going to break the cycle by pulling you out, basically taking you away from that situation, taking you away. Either it's through different beliefs or breaking the connection with the souls that you are in a karmic cycle, breaking all connections, basically no communication or nothing. That's what the backup plan is here, is to take you away from situation that you are in, from the souls that you are stuck in a karmic cycle, because you cannot balance the karma, you cannot forgive. So what happens when universe or your spiritual team sends somebody to pull you out that situation, and that's how the karmic cycle can be broken. So there's no communication, there's nothing there anymore. You can't communicate with them anymore. Everything is blocked. Spiritually or logically, everything is blocked. And that gives you a break to forgive. And then maybe later on again, when you are healed and you forgive, the soul might come back and you'll be able to actually communicate with them again. But when the backup plan is for the souls that are stuck in a karmic cycle, it's always to remove you from equation, from the place, from situation. That means that's the only way to break up the cycle, to leave the situation physically. You might travel somewhere, or you might live a lifestyle that has nothing to do with them. So that is the plan. And if the backup plan souls that are sent in to actually do that, if they don't do that, they're immediately cancelled. So there's many of those backup plans. There's never only one backup plan. There's many of backup plans. When you come to the stage where your angels have to use a backup plan, that's a very challenging situation. That means all the plans that you plan together are not working. So this is the time where you really have to stay still, meditate, and understand, okay? And be very careful not to choose any opportunity that doesn't feel right. So what happens here? You have all your spirits from the lower level and from the higher level working together to help you. And they're all doing differently. The spirits from lower level will throw all opportunities that they feel are good for you or that's going to help them to balance the karma. You have your spiritual team throwing opportunities, and there's going to be like a bombs of opportunities. And maybe none of them feels really bright. So the key is never to take opportunity that doesn't feel right, because that one always keeps you more stuck in a karmic cycle. If it doesn't feel right, then that's gonna keep you deeper in a karmic cycle. So this is where you have to be very careful before you take any opportunity. Never rush. Look into your soul plan. Meditate. Ask. Pray. Ask, where is this taking me? Is there any different opportunity? And take your time. It's better sometimes to be stuck and not to move forward at all, to stay where you are, than to move forward into deeper, more challenging situation. So this is the little picture of Akashic Records. Only your spiritual team have access to it. Your spirits from lower levels can have a little peek in it. It's almost like stealing, have a little peek in it secretly, but they don't have full access to it. And you can have access to it when you evolve and you connect to your spiritual team and you connect to Akashic Records. So I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.